Tonight on CTV News at 6, the Premier's speech. As referendum rumors swirl, Danielle Smith will address the province.
This is politics. We have a Premier who only has one goal in mind, and that's remaining a Premier.
Sentencing for a man who tossed a dumbbell from an overpass, injuring a woman in a car below. And
criminals are getting smarter, more innovative, and reaching further.
Edmonton police working with the U.S. Secret Service and ethical hackers to stop scammers.
They capture data on victims. They can hear victims on the phone. They can see information going back and forth.
The temperatures warmed up nicely through the day today, and those warm temperatures are going to stick around for a while as daytime highs consistently get into the 20s.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. A committee arguing whether to approve the Forever Canadian petition has made its decision. The UCP Majority Committee has voted to recommend a question about staying in Canada be included in this October's referendum. Connor Hogg is at the Alberta Legislature grounds tonight, where the committee meeting took place. And Connor, this came after the committee ran out of time yesterday.
Jeff, today's meeting picked up where things ended off yesterday, with the committee debating the future of the Forever Canadian petition question. It was another tense meeting, with members from both sides of the political aisle accusing the other of rushing and stalling discussions. Today, debate resumed on whether to advance a question to Albertans and whether it should include an option to vote to remain in Canada. The opposition is concerned that leaves the door open to changes to the question. NDP committee members also asked for an amendment requiring the province to consult with First Nations before calling a referendum, since that lack of consultation is what resulted in the pausing of the pro-separation petition question in court. That amendment was defeated. In the end, the vote was held, and the majority UCP committee elected to recommend a referendum.
Do I personally feel used? No, this is politics. We have a Premier who only has one goal in mind, and that's remaining a Premier. And she will do everything she has to do, whether it's moral or immoral, legal or illegal, to get to that point.
The reason today's meeting was held at all is because yesterday's meeting ended after a United Conservative Caucus media release was prematurely sent out, saying the committee was recommending the referendum vote. Committee Chair Brandon Lunty was asked about this repeatedly today. He reiterated the matter has already been dealt with, refusing to comment further. And all of this is happening as Premier Danielle Smith has booked time for a paid television address to Albertans tonight. Jeff?
All right, Connor, thank you. That's Connor Hogg live at the Legislature. You can see that address by Danielle Smith right here at 6:45. Federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he'll be campaigning for the pro-Canada side.
I want a strong Alberta within a united Canada, and all conservatives will be campaigning for Canadian unity in Alberta, and potentially, we hope not, but potentially in Quebec as well if the separatists win there.
They have blamed the Prime Minister for the rise in separatist sentiment. He suggests Mark Carney do more to quell it by pushing resource development and dropping the gun buyback program. Meanwhile, Alberta's Lieutenant Governor also had a distinctly Canadian message during today's cabinet shuffle swearing in.
We must not lose sight of our goal, the desire to improve the lives of our fellow Albertans. For this reason, it is all the more important that our elected officials orient themselves around the basic principles of democracy, the rule of law, and good government that define our Canadian way of life.
This cabinet shuffle comes as Finance Minister Nate Horner and Hospitals Minister Matt Jones leave their roles. Adriana LaGrange is taking on a new health portfolio. She'll be in charge of hospitals. Taking over for primary and preventative health services is Justin Wright. Jason Nixon is now the Minister of Finance. There's also new ministers for agriculture, utilities, and assisted living. The Edmonton Police Service is using ethical hackers to stop scammers in their tracks. The service says the unorthodox collaboration has helped prevent the loss of tens of millions of dollars. Airman Issa explains.
Criminals are getting smarter, more innovative, and reaching further.
Edmonton's police chief says fraud investigations have become more advanced.
From a policing perspective, this has dissolved our physical borders and means these investigations aren't what they used to be.
EPS has now hired hackers for its fraud investigations. They've been working with police since last July.
A unique opportunity for us to actually get involved before things could actually happen and people were victimized.
EPS says ethical hackers target frauds that are in progress. They engage with scam centers, then use their expertise to hack into its systems and gain access.
They capture data on victims. They can hear victims on the phone. They can see information going back and forth. And then they will then in turn provide that intelligence information to us so that we can then engage.
In 10 months, EPS says it's intercepted more than $45 million from getting into the hands of scammers.
Without them, we wouldn't be here to talk about this investigative success.
Ethical hackers have a very important role with law enforcement.
This cybersecurity analyst says it's now a crucial skill.
Crime has also become more digital. It is inevitable that we're going to see more of these collaborations, more of these types of stories, and more people getting criminally charged as a result of the efforts of law enforcement working with these experts and private industry.
EPS says as long as crime goes online, it'll be crucial to use ethical hackers. It's also worked with dozens of law enforcement agencies, including the U.S. Secret Service. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
A man who dropped a dumbbell off an Edmonton overpass, injuring a woman, was sentenced late this afternoon. As Amanda Anderson reports, it's a sentence to be served in the community.
A couple with their newborn child were driving on this stretch of the White Mud Freeway in March 2024 when a large metal object went through their windshield. Police released this video showing what a court has since learned was a 20-pound dumbbell dropped onto traffic below. It hit the woman's foot. She was sitting in the middle row of seats in the van. Her newborn was in the row behind her. The woman suffered a broken foot that continues to impact her daily life. This incident has created fear that such dangerous actions could happen again, putting me and my family at risk. The woman wrote in a victim impact statement read in court during a sentencing hearing for the man responsible, Getnet Tekle. Edmonton police tell me Tekle was linked to 6 incidents on the White Mud around March 2024. He pleaded guilty to one of the 15 charges he was facing, aggravated assault. The other charges were withdrawn. In an agreed statement of facts, the court heard Tekle was suffering from significant and untreated mental health issues at the time. He spent about 8 months in custody after his arrest. Tekle has since been diagnosed with a mental illness and has been taking medication and participating in treatment. Given the offender's compliance with treatment and diligence seeking help, we do not believe he poses a threat to public safety if he serves his sentence in the community, the Crown told the court. The justice accepted a joint submission by the Crown and defense. Tekle was given an 18-month conditional sentence with numerous conditions, followed by 2 years probation. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Police are looking for an SUV in connection to a homicide in Castle Downs earlier this year. In February, officers found 38-year-old Alinur Mohammed Musa suffering from gunshot wounds. He died in hospital. Investigators have released these photos of what they call a suspect vehicle. It's a black Audi Q5. The model year is believed to be from 2012 to 2015. Anyone with information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. 2 homes in Fort Saskatchewan have been damaged by fire. The city of Fort Saskatchewan says emergency crews responded to the fire this afternoon. It severely damaged one home with the roof caving in some areas. The siding on the home next door was also melted. No injuries have been reported. Investigators are still looking into what caused that fire. LRT construction on 111th Street will soon shut down an access point to the Twin Brooks neighborhood. The city says starting Sunday, 12th Avenue will close fully to traffic. Crews working on the Capital Line South extension will be doing extensive construction on utilities, drainage, roads, and tracks. Drivers should use 9th Avenue to access Twin Brooks. The city says it's making changes to improve traffic flow during the closure. 12th Ave is expected to be closed until early August, then 9th Ave will go through the same process. A new electricity substation is coming to Edmonton's north side. The city says expanding the grid's capacity is a growing need as our population increases. As Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, Edmontonians will be footing some of the cost for the nearly $400 million project.
Shovels are in the ground, ready to start construction on one of the largest power grid upgrades Edmonton has seen.
The Northeast system is currently strained, and this will help us meet long-term demands, electrical demands on our system, which is growing.
This land at 125 Avenue and 62nd Street will become EPCOR's City of Edmonton Transmission Reinforcement Project, also known as CEDAR, an increased electrical capacity needed due to population growth.
Our goal is simple: to make sure Edmonton has reliable electricity before problems happen.
This allows us to replace things on a planned basis rather than reacting to failures that may occur from aging infrastructure.
The project will cost nearly $400 million. EPCOR is paying for the bulk, with the rest coming from the Alberta Electric System Operator Service Charge. Edmontonians will see that fee increase by about 25 cents on their electricity bills until the around $5 million required is recovered. The substation will include 9 kilometers of transmission lines, both above and underground.
These lines help move electricity around the city more easily, especially when demand is high.
The Edmonton Chamber of Commerce says having predictable and secure energy is a green light for businesses nearby.
An economic driver, water and wastewater and electricity are probably the very cornerstones of what makes businesses and industries make decisions about where they're going to locate.
Alberta's electric system operator has forecasted electricity demand in the city's northeast could exceed the current system's capacity as early as next year. The city says while the system is strained, it doesn't believe it will fail before the project comes online.
This project is addressing a system where there's need for upgrades in infrastructure. It's not in reaction to a grid alert.
Construction begins this summer and is scheduled to be completed by 2029. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, Josh, that was a beautiful day. No complaints at all.
Yeah, got off to a chilly start, but we made it up to 20 for a daytime high today. First time since last Wednesday the temperatures have been above 20 degrees, technically 20.4. So we'll round that down to 20 for a daytime high. It's still 20 degrees outside, though, 18s and 19s outside the city, and the wind was down. Fairly light wind. Nice to see some sunshine earlier in the day today. There's that cool morning we were talking about. There were a number of stations just outside the city that slipped below zero this morning in the city. 3 degrees for the morning low. At high of 20 this afternoon, 2 degrees above average. Here's what it looks like outside right now. We'll be a lot milder tomorrow morning compared to this morning as some cloud cover has started to increase through this afternoon. There were some showers off to the west of the Edmonton area, but if you were with us at 5, we were talking about how those would fall apart. They have indeed really started to fall apart. You got one little thunderstorm there just off to the east of Wainwright, south of Lloydminster. Other than that, it's just some scattered, really small shower cells around Stettler and then off to the southwest of the Edmonton area. You notice those showers that went through the Whitecourt area earlier this afternoon, all now pretty much done. So just mostly cloudy skies through this evening and overnight tonight. We'll still be in the mid-teens mid-evening, down to about 8 degrees tomorrow morning, so a handful of degrees warmer than this morning, and up to about 21 or 22 with the chance of some scattered showers, especially late in the day tomorrow. Could see a few more of those late-day showers or thunderstorms through the weekend. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Josh. Still ahead, real talent for artificial intelligence.
We're pioneering spaces and ideas that other people aren't even looking at yet.
Now, Ottawa is pushing for Alberta to be at the forefront of AI innovation.
Programming brought to you by Final Symphony with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Edmonton's role in the modern artificial intelligence landscape is rapidly expanding. Tens of millions of dollars are flowing into local research and innovation, something celebrated this week at an enormous AI conference in our city. Curtis Goodrum reports.
There is an air of excitement at the Edmonton Convention Centre. Thousands here learning about Canada's and Edmonton's place in a quickly changing artificial intelligence landscape.
We've been leading for a while, and so that means we're pioneering spaces and ideas that other people aren't even looking at yet.
Tens of millions of dollars have been given to local researchers to fund their work and hire more of them. They're now part of a national organization sharing AI innovation across Canada.
It's literally just wild to be a researcher in a field that went from literally you don't even talk about it in tech to it's now in everyone's lives.
Ife Adabara is in Edmonton thanks to another new funding pot worth $30 million. It's being used by the U of A and AI Research Institute, AMI, to attract high-level AI researchers. She says Edmonton is on the cutting edge of a wide variety of fields.
One of the things that stand out with Canada is the collaborative, organizations like CIFA, for example, that is bringing together our researchers.
AI will change how we deliver healthcare, change how we deliver service, change how agriculture, mining, everything's done.
Artificial Intelligence Minister Evan Solomon says the U of A is at the forefront of development.
You're seeing it on the research side, you're seeing it on the industry side. You're seeing governments coming here looking for Canadian companies to build and to buy from.
It's a realization of a potential it's been building for more than 20 years, and it's going to keep growing for sure.
White says Alberta has the tools to become a leading hub for AI and technology over the next 5 years. Curtis Gudrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Edmonton Comics and Entertainment Expo has revealed some of the biggest stars appearing at this year's event.
All right, let's get to work, yeah?
We think Carl Urban, Aaron Moriarty, Tomer Capone, and Colby Minifee from Amazon Prime's series The Boys will be in Edmonton this September. Fans can meet them and other celebrity guests at autograph signings and photo ops, as well as hear a live on-stage Q&A. Tickets for the expo are available now. It takes place September 18th to 20th. Some of the stars of RuPaul's Drag Race will shanty into the River Cree next year. The RuPaul's Drag Race Work the World Tour will be at the River Cree March 20th. It will feature all-star queens including Asia O'Hara, Vanessa Vanjie, and Latrice Royale. Tickets go on sale next Thursday. Still ahead, hitting the field.
It's like a whole new level of athleticism.
Alberta students putting their athletic skills to the test.
No showers expected tonight, but we do have some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for the next couple of days. Really no heavy, steady rain in the forecast, though. That's a beautiful shot. On a beautiful evening. Back with your forecast right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Alberta iGaming Corporation. For integrity, for fun, for Alberta.
So, quick question for you guys. Does lightning create thunder, or does thunder create lightning? You know? I see some confusion, but hands up, yes.
Lightning creates thunder.
That's right. Thunder is the sound that lightning creates. You have to have lightning in order to have thunder. What happens is, as that lightning slices through the air, it causes the air to explode out. Now think about if you have a brown paper lunch bag and you go, you get a big pop, right? Yeah. Is that the bag ripping, or is that the air exploding out that makes that sound? It's the air exploding out. And that's what happens with lightning. As lightning slices through the air, it causes the air to explode out, and you get that big bang. What do we call that bang? Thunder, that's right. And then, because light travels faster than sound, you can count. And for every 3 seconds between seeing the lightning and hearing the thunder, it's about 1 kilometer away. So if you count, you see the lightning, you're like 1, 2, it's really close to you. Should you stay in the pool? No. Get out of the pool. So, does lightning create thunder, or does thunder create lightning?
Lightning creates thunder.
Very good. These are the grade 5s from? That's right, smart kids out here, forecasters of the future, and you are?
Weather Watchers brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association. Strong schools equal a strong Alberta.
More than 1,000 student athletes are showing off their running, jumping, and throwing skills at Foot Field.
it's awesome. There's so much hidden talent here.
56 Edmonton area schools are represented at the Metro Edmonton High School Track and Field Championships. One athlete says the competition is fun but fierce.
Well, it's quite crazy. You know, it's so much more than junior high. It's really different, I feel. A lot of people here are really professional, club athletes. It's like a whole new level of athleticism.
Today's winners will qualify for the Provincial Track and Field Championships in Calgary, June 6th and 7th. And what a beautiful day for a track meet.
Yeah. Were you ever any good at track and field?
I was fair to middling.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I wasn't the worst. It's not elite, though.
Yeah. Better than me.
Were you?
No. Take a look outside right now. This body is not built for speed. River Valley Skycam is brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right here, it's free. 20 degrees in Edmonton right now with some increase in cloud cover. That's our daytime high for today. 20 in Grand Prairie, 21 in Fort McMurray. Red Deer, not quite 20, got to 18. As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, today's the first time that we've hit 20 or warmer since Wednesday of last week. But now it looks like the rest of the month will be 20 or above 20 for daytime highs and above average. So we've gone through a little cool spell here, especially yesterday. Temperatures only 13 for a high yesterday. Now we're back into some warmer air, and it's going to stick around. There's your cloud cover building in from the west. You can see most of the thunderstorm activity has been on the Saskatchewan side of things. You get a couple scattered showers here that are tracking up towards the northeast, so those will miss the Edmonton area, and this stuff is moving in the other direction. It's coming in from the west-northwest and moving off to the southeast. That's still going to get going in through the Rocky Mountain House region here for the next little while, but for us here in Edmonton, just empty clouds for the rest of tonight. Now, there's a couple chances for some scattered showers tomorrow. As we mentioned earlier, there is no big system that's going to go through and just pelt us with rain. There's nothing that's going to stagnate over top of us and drench us, but almost every day, there's at least a chance. Tomorrow morning, north and west of the city, maybe a few isolated showers. I think midday, you might see a little sprinkle in and around parts of the city. Best chance tomorrow, though, is going to be later in the day, north and west of the Edmonton region. Some showers, some isolated thunderstorms, and one or two of these cells might slide through the Edmonton area tomorrow evening. Saturday, it's north of us that we get most of the activity. Northwestern Alberta through the afternoon, good chance of thunderstorms, and then northeastern Alberta Saturday evening. There's your kick of warm air that comes in out ahead of this low pressure system, though, on Saturday. That'll be the warmest day we see for a while, into the mid-20s for a daytime high. And then we may cap the day Saturday with some thunderstorms in the evening hours. 20 degrees in Fort McMurray, Cold Lake, and here at Edmonton right now. It's 18 in Red Deer, 19 in Grand Prairie. Most areas are at their daytime highs for the day. We'll still be around 16, 17 degrees, 9 p.m., mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. 8 tomorrow morning. So that's 5 degrees warmer than it was this morning. Back up to about 21, maybe 22. We'll see how things play out with those scattered showers. I think the best chance, as we said, is probably in the evening hours tomorrow. The wind stays pretty light right through the day. 25 Saturday, through the daytime hours Saturday, beautiful day. Partly cloudy skies. In the evening, you might see a spotty thunderstorm. Sunday looks cloudier, a little cooler as well, back to about 20 with some scattered showers potentially, especially in the afternoon hours, and then 22 and 20 for Monday and Tuesday. Again, Tuesday you have a chance of some late day showers. Wednesday and Friday, maybe some scattered showers, but no real heavy, steady rain in that forecast through the rest of the month.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, supply shortage.
It doesn't send a very positive message, even though it might be normal.
Canadian military members being asked to return field gear as the armed forces faces critical shortfalls.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
A passenger on a U.S.-bound plane who had recently visited East Africa has been sent back to Paris after the plane was diverted to Montreal. The flight was diverted due to U.S. flight restrictions related to the Ebola outbreak in Congo. The plane was en route from Paris to Detroit when it landed at Trudeau International Airport. The passenger was then sent back to Paris. U.S. officials say they boarded the flight, quote, in error. Meanwhile, in Ontario, one person in hospital is being tested for the virus after recently returning from East Africa. There are currently no confirmed cases in Canada. Canadian aid workers are heading to the Congo as part of the Ebola outbreak response. The team will include workers from the Canadian Red Cross. They're hoping to arrive in the Congo in the next few days. A team of public health and logistics experts is already on their way. Their work will involve contact tracing, psychological support, and helping people get to treatment centres. About 10,000 Canadian troops have been asked to hand in some of their field gear to help with what the Defence Department calls critical equipment shortages.
It doesn't send a very positive message, even though it might be normal. It just indicates just how weak the procurement system is, how low the stockpiles are, and just how much demand there is on operations right now.
Items requested include rucksacks, patrol packs, tactical vests, and fragmentation vests. The Defence Department says the equipment will be reissued to deployable units as non-deployable units do not require them for day-to-day duties. It says these types of requests are issued periodically. Stephen Colbert will deliver a final sign-off tonight as The Late Show comes to an end after 33 years.
Is there anything that we have not touched on before we move on to this? I'm curious.
The outrage that your show is being thrown off the air?
Yeah. Well, CBS says it's pulling the show for financial reasons. Many believe it's related to Colbert's mocking of a $16 million settlement between the network's parent company and U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump has repeatedly criticized Colbert. Rival late-night hosts are planning to air reruns out of respect for Colbert's swan song. Stay with us. Premier Danielle Smith's address to the province begins in 10 minutes. But first, as a pair of grizzly cubs settle into their home down in Calgary, the Edmonton Zoo has plans to unveil some new arrivals. Details next.
Programming brought to you by Alberta iGaming Corporation. For integrity, for fun, for Alberta.
The Edmonton Valley Zoo plans to introduce 3 new Arctic wolf pups to the public tomorrow. The zoo says they were born this spring. Meantime, 2 grizzly bear brothers are exploring their outdoor habitat for the first time at the Calgary Zoo. Turner and Fitz arrived last fall after being orphaned in the wild. They spent the winter behind the scenes getting to know their animal care team. Now they're exploring their outdoor habitat in the zoo's Wild Canada section. The zoo staff say the playful cubs are doing phenomenally. And Josh has a...
They look friendly.
They do, absolutely. Cuddly, cute, yeah, all those things. But more importantly, you have a very good question about Arctic wolves.
No, I really did.
Yeah, you did. You know. Are there Antarctic wolves? See,
I don't know.
You can take credit for that. It's brilliant.
I do not want credit for that question. I'll take credit for this forecast. 8 degrees tomorrow morning. Mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. And then a mix of sun and cloud for tomorrow. Chance of a few scattered showers. Is going to be dry for most of the day. 21 or 22 for high. 25 Saturday and 20 on Sunday. And again, dry for most of those days. Just a chance of a thunderstorm Saturday evening. And maybe a few scattered showers Sunday afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Josh. And we are ending tonight's show a little bit early because after the break, we'll turn to Premier Danielle Smith for a province-wide address. See ya.
The following is a paid program. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
My fellow Albertans, tonight I wish to speak with you about the debate we are having in this province on the future of Alberta and Canada. Last week, an Alberta judge released a decision finding that the citizen initiative petition organized by the group Stay Free Alberta on the issue of Alberta separation is unconstitutional because, in the judge's view, there was not adequate consultation done with the First Nations band about the potential effect of the petition on their treaty rights. This ruling fundamentally misinterprets the nature of the duty to consult, which was never meant to prevent citizens from making their voices heard through a democratic process. Now, I want to be clear. I support Alberta remaining in Canada. That is how I would vote on separation in a provincial referendum. It is also the position of my government and my caucus. However, despite my personal support for remaining in Canada, I am deeply troubled by an erroneous court decision that interferes with the democratic rights of hundreds of thousands of Albertans. Albertans who volunteered, prepared petitions, made their case to fellow citizens, and appear to have secured the required amount of signatures necessary under Alberta law to hold a provincial referendum. The fact is that between the Forever Canada petition requesting a referendum on Alberta remaining in Canada and the Stay Free Alberta petition requesting a referendum on leaving Canada, approximately 700,000 Albertans have signed a petition requesting a vote on this issue. And I, as Premier, will not have a legal mistake by a single judge silence the voices of hundreds of thousands of Albertans. That's not the Alberta way. Alberta's future will be decided by Albertans, not the courts. Our government will therefore be appealing the decision to Alberta's Court of Appeal and, if necessary, the Supreme Court of Canada. But this process will take many months and possibly years before being addressed by those higher courts. In the meantime, under our legal system, this troubling court decision is binding law in Alberta until it is successfully appealed. This means that it is unlikely the courts will permit Elections Alberta to hold a binding provincial referendum on separation until this incorrect ruling is overturned or clarified. But there is another way to hear from Albertans while we wait for our legal appeal to be heard. That is why I'm announcing today that I will be requesting our government add an additional question to the October 19th referendum vote announced previously. The additional question will be, should Alberta remain a province of Canada? Or should the government of Alberta commence the legal process required under the Canadian Constitution to hold a binding provincial referendum on whether or not Alberta should separate from Canada? Because this proposed referendum question does not directly trigger separation, but if successful, would ask Alberta's government to commence the legal process necessary to hold a binding referendum on the matter, the recent court ruling would not be applicable, and the referendum question I outlined could proceed. This question will also ensure the 700,000 signatories to both the Forever Canada petition and the Stay Free Alberta petition are respected, and the will of Albertans is heard. Kicking the can down the road only prolongs a very emotional and important debate, and muzzling the voices of hundreds of thousands of Albertans wanting to be heard is unjustifiable in a free and democratic society. It's time to have a vote, understand the will of Albertans on this subject, and move on. Now, obviously, Alberta's first ever provincial vote on our province's future in Canada is of monumental importance. As such, I feel it is important to clearly state my personal position so Albertans know where I stand. I first want to assure Albertans that our government will respect the outcome and direction received on all of the referendum questions being voted on this October 19th. Our government has already launched the website, albertareferendum2026.ca, with a significant amount of background information on the immigration and constitutional questions previously announced, and I hope every Albertan will take the time to explore that website in detail. As to the specific issue of separation, I have repeatedly stated that the position of the UCP caucus and UCP government is to build a strong and sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. I have never deviated from that position, and I will not do so now. I will therefore be voting for Alberta to remain in Canada, while continuing to work each and every day to restore and strengthen provincial rights under the Canadian Constitution. The fact is, Canada was founded on this very principle. Canada is very different from the United States and many other Western democracies. For example, the United States centralizes the majority of power and decision-making in its federal government. In Canada, we chose a decentralized federation composed of very unique and diverse provinces left to govern themselves in almost all matters, with the main exceptions of national defense and international affairs. Over time, our federal government has sought to move towards a more centralized American-style system, with Ottawa attempting to take over many provincial areas of jurisdiction, using all manner of legislative, judicial, and financial leverage. I categorically reject Ottawa's attempts to do so, and call on all provincial leaders and MPs to undo the extensive damage that centralization of power in Ottawa has done to our country economically and with respect to national unity. I am fiercely loyal to both Alberta and Canada, but I truly believe our country is so much stronger and more prosperous when we respect the rights of provinces and empower them to govern themselves with minimal federal interference. Albertans, not Ottawa. Quebecers, not Ottawa. And all the other provinces must each be empowered to control our own direction and destiny, whether it's energy policy, agricultural practices, policing, firearms ownership, or how to administer our social programs. The days of Ottawa dictating and interfering in provincial affairs must come to an end. The future economic success and unity of our country depends on it. When I was first elected Premier, I was very concerned that it would be almost impossible to restore provincial rights stolen from Alberta and other provinces by the Trudeau-Singh government in Ottawa. However, our government went to work anyway to see if we could. We have been relentless in making our voices heard, launching dozens of legal actions, appearing in hundreds of national interviews, bridge building with other premiers, and aggressively passing legislation, such as the Alberta Sovereignty within a United Canada Act, to take back our provincial autonomy from the federal government. We ran extensive advertising campaigns against the destructive net zero electricity regulations, as well as the catastrophic oil and gas production cap, in order to persuade our fellow Canadians that Trudeau's anti-Alberta agenda was also anti-Canadian and was destroying the unity, energy, and economic future of our nation. A great majority of Albertans joined us in that fight, calling friends, relatives, and participating in social media to spread that message throughout the country. We made a lot of noise as a province. We fought hard and refused to accept the status quo. And the result? Well, my friends, we have started to win. Over the course of the last 2 years, the tide of national public opinion on resource development, provincial rights, energy policy, and a host of other issues began to turn. Our Alberta oil sands went from a national target to a national treasure. Pipelines went from impossible to a national imperative. Justin Trudeau's anti-Alberta, anti-energy policies became a national embarrassment, one of several, that ultimately cost him his prime ministership. The Leave It in the Ground NDP, led by Jagmeet Singh, was electorally annihilated. And the federal Liberals, led by their new leader, Prime Minister Mark Carney, adopted most of Alberta's positions on energy and resource development. In fact, the current Prime Minister has worked very constructively with our government to craft an Alberta-Ottawa Energy Agreement, or MOU, as it is often called. This has already attracted tens of billions of dollars in investment for new pipelines, natural gas-run data centers, electricity generation, and so much more. Under that energy agreement with Ottawa, the destructive federal electricity regulations are gone. The economically disastrous oil and gas production cap has been scrapped. New pipelines carrying nearly 1 million barrels of Alberta oil to the United States are proceeding with speed toward construction. And a new 1 million barrel a day pipeline to the BC West Coast is well in progress and on track to have its permitting completed by September of next year. Could and should these reforms and projects move faster? Yes, of course they should. The federal government can and needs to act with even more urgency than it has. Do we in Alberta still have our differences with the federal Liberal government? Obviously. And make no mistake, we will relentlessly challenge them to respect our provincial rights and jurisdiction every time they step over the line. But my fellow Albertans, there can be no doubt that things are a world of difference better for our province than they were under the Trudeau NDP government. Both major federal parties, the federal Conservatives and now the federal Liberals, representing 85% of voters in Canada, are advocating for Alberta to increase our energy production and exports. Only some extremists in the NDP, Bloc Québécois, and Green parties, representing less than 15% of voters in Canada, hold fast to their anti-Alberta, leave-it-in-the-ground rhetoric. This complete turning of Canadian government policy and national public opinion was unthinkable just a few short years ago. No one thought it was possible, except here in Alberta. We turned the tide. We are winning hearts and minds to our cause right across the country, as many of our fellow Canadians are coming to understand that a strong Alberta and strong provinces means a stronger and more prosperous Canada. Now, to those hundreds of thousands of Albertans who are still not convinced or are unsatisfied with the pace of change and believe that separation is the answer, I want you to know that I empathize with you and I understand why you feel that way. You are justifiably frustrated and angry with Ottawa. You are proud and loyal Albertans that have watched our province be taken advantage of repeatedly over past decades, and you want it to stop. So do I. More than anything, like you, I love this province and our people so much. I am so proud to be Albertan. But I ask you to please consider joining me to vote for Alberta to remain in Canada and not give up on our beautiful country just as we're gaining respect and the tide has turned in our favor. Not when our fellow Canadians, even those that may support different political parties, are nonetheless supporting Alberta's vision for a prosperous, energy-rich nation with strong provinces building a Canada we can be proud of again. In my view, now is not the time to give up hope in our country, not when we have fought so hard for so long and come so far. I believe Canada can still work. I believe it's working better every day, and it can work even better in the future if we keep fighting together for it. Together with our fellow Canadians, we have built a Canada that is loved and respected all over the world. Our men and women have died together fighting for our freedoms and the safety of hundreds of millions around the globe. Canadians were there in Europe, fighting and making the ultimate sacrifice in the Second World War long before we were joined in that effort by our American allies. Together with our allies, we were also instrumental in beating back the forces of communism and terrorism. The world would be a much darker place if not for Canada. We have built marvels of technology together. We are known the world over as a country of innovators, explorers, and entrepreneurs, but also of peacemakers, philanthropists, and contributors to the good of the world. Our federal politicians may stray from our foundational values from time to time, but our fellow Canadians, they are our family, our friends, our blood. We all know our family needs to do some work to get rid of a few bad habits developed over the past decade, but that's what we are in the process of fixing. Now is the time to double down and fight even harder for the prosperity and change we want to see in our country. Because Albertans are at our best when we are hard at work getting things done for each other and our families, solving problems, serving our communities, creating and innovating, building a stronger Alberta and a stronger Canada. And now is our chance to do so, finally with a Chinook wind at our backs instead of a winter blizzard in our face. Finally, I wish to speak with those of you who already agree with me that Alberta should remain in Canada. Let us guard against the trap of using division and demonization tactics against our fellow Albertans with whom we disagree on this matter. The vast majority of those advocating for separation love our province profoundly. Many are also proud Canadians that have simply lost hope that their families can flourish within Canada. So instead of attacking these loyal Albertans, let's work together to restore hope in their country again. Let's work together to hold Ottawa accountable for implementing the Alberta-Ottawa energy deal and get that pipeline built to the West Coast. Let's work together to get Ottawa to stand down on their unfair persecution of law-abiding gun owners. Let's work together to build an immigration system that helps support our economy while putting Alberta workers and taxpayers first. Let's demonstrate why Alberta can be stronger and more prosperous as a member of a renewed and unified Canada, one that is moving past the last 10 years to empower provinces to develop and export our resources and to govern our own provincial affairs free from federal interference. Let's use the power of hope and persuasion and reject the language of division and demonization. We are, after all, each other's neighbors, friends, and family. We must never let the voices of hatred and vilification divide us as a people. Because at the end of this debate, and when the referendum is over, we must come together to ensure that our beloved province continues to prosper. And that is my hope, that our beloved Alberta and Canada will remain forever strong and free. Thank you and good night.
The proceeding was a paid program. The opinions expressed did not necessarily reflect those of this station.